Hello everyone, today we're going to be covering a She-Naut deck, a She-Hulk Infinite deck. Now there are three different versions that I have listed on the screen. The top one is going to be the most free-to-play friendly, and I covered a very close version of that about 12 days ago. If you want to watch that description or that spotlight, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But I think this version, High Evolutionary Double Down deck, that one I think is a very interesting take on the archetype. It drops the Hulk altogether, and it utilizes the She-Hulk and the Infinite, the Moon Girl for the double down, but it uses and leverages a Cyclops for that negative affliction as you're skipping and floating your energy, and then the Abomination. If you can get that low enough, if you get enough triggers of your Cyclops, of your Wasp, sometimes Abomination is going to be one, and you can use that alongside your double She-Hulk and Infinite on the last turn for just an explosive amount of power. Now the first version that we have, it's the most free-to-play friendly. In that version, we instead of the Cyclops, we have the Cosmo, and that is going to be great at stopping those strong, heavy destroy decks that we have right now. That one also uses the Titania to really lean in on the Moon Girl double down effect. Sometimes you're going to be able to flood 2 Titanias plus a couple of She-Hulks on the last turn. Other times you're just going to use that on turn 7 as your extra energy. That version also uses a Psylocke as another consistency driver so that you can use Psylocke on 4, skip on 5 because you have 6 energy. That allows you to do the She-Hulk and the Infinite on turn 6 naturally. But with so many people running Magic right now, it's not as much of an issue getting that extension. If we miss ours, the opponent probably drops theirs. And then the last version is something that I found really unique and really cool. It uses the Infinite, it uses the She-Hulk, it uses the Hulk, but it drops the Moon Girl altogether, so you're no longer doubling down on your cards, but it also leverages a leech. After they changed it where it doesn't take effect immediately, it dropped off in popularity quite a bit. But with so many games going to turn 7, leech gets 2 rounds of value, and we're in a scenario where a lot of our late game power is very greedy. She-Naut, the Silver Surfer, we want to drop as much of it on the last turn as possible, and let's say we're hoarding all of our inverted negative cards. A leech just completely derails it, and I'm very likely going to lose 4 cubes off of that play alone. Then I play it a little bit more cautiously, but it has that big surprise factor, and so I haven't tested that one as much, but I thought it was a very unique take on the She-Naut deck, a high Evo She-Naut deck at that. And so for today, we're going to jump in with this version. I haven't ran into a match where I just feel outmatched or outclassed. Something like a Storm or a Spider-Man Professor X lockdown can be problematic, but we have so many ways to grow our cards naturally over time, even if we're not playing there, the Sunspot, the Nebula, the Cyclops, that it's a lot harder for them to comfortably lock down locations so that we can focus on our end game while they're restricted in theirs. And so we're going to go ahead and jump into a gold conquest with the evolved She-Naut deck. Let's go ahead and do it. Also, thank you guys for being here. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, first up we have Swahili. X-Mansion is the first location. We don't want to get too comfortable with the power of our 1 costs until we know if they run a Killmonger, until we have our armor in place. And seeing the Bast, this looks like the negative deck. The one and only negative deck that has been plaguing the game, partly because of me, partly because of Cozy. I apologize, guys, for my part in this. It's a tough deck to beat. There are ways to do it. Cosmo is a good start. I actually started teching in Super Scroll into some of my stuff to get that value that they get, but doubled. And so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to continue focusing on our game plan. We have the Nebula, the Misty Knight to continue to just buff our cards over time. The Zabu and Luke's Bar is good. They probably magic. I would imagine they would magic. We do have the Cyclops, but I think we're going to go armor instead in Mojo World. They probably have Brood. They probably have Mr. Sinister, I would imagine. And then the Mr. Negative is also fantastic. On curve, on 3 is amazing. I have played that deck so many times, and that happens so infrequently that when it does, it feels nice. But hopefully we can outclass them and outmatch them. What? They get a Nebula that's going to scale over the course of the game, and we get a 0 power armor. Okay, that is fine. Cyclops is decent here. I think we do probably need the extra reach in Luke's Bar, but unless they use their magic or a Brood or they position power there, I think we're going to leave that one alone. Because if they can't do anything there, then our Nebula will just scale and outmatch them eventually. Now, I think we do have to magic, since we want the She-Hulk and the Infinite. Whoa, they do a Wolfsbane, and then it's going to bounce back in. That is brutal. It stops Nebula from scaling. It does buff up their oof, that's a tough one. Their Wolfsbane, whatever they play here, we're pretty much going to lose in expansion. Don't know if magic stabs us in the back or not, though. They haven't snapped. Unfortunately, this negative deck is going to be a tough one. A Cosmo would definitely help us out quite a bit in blocking the Wong lane. So the original, like that free-to-play version that I mentioned, would be beautiful here. They wouldn't be able to get nearly as much high roll. Ooh, the Iron Man into the Mystique. So they have the elevation here. The Wolfsbane is going to be big. We are going to negatively afflict them, though. And so let's negatively afflict them as much as possible. Every single hit from Cyclops is a -2, and so it's -4 each round, which is massive. Huge value for us. Let's go ahead and skip. We're going to bring our She-Hulk down to 0. We're going to let these guys do what they want to do. The Rogue, okay, doesn't steal anything, but this does look like our version, the version that I featured. It doesn't look like the cozy version that had the Sarah. We'll see if we can hold this one down. They have the Wolfsbane already down. This is going to be a massive amount of power, right? An Ironheart or Ironheart here, Silver Surfer here is huge. But they also haven't snapped into it. So maybe they're not that confident. I do think we need to go big in Mojo World. That's where we're fighting for right now. I think we go big in Mojo World. We have the She-Hulk, we have the Wasp in the right lane. That's going to give us a little bit of value. I think we're all right. I think their snap is a little hasty because we will get the -4 affliction here. The 20 power here hopefully holds us down quite a bit. Now the Ironheart, the Silver Surfer, and they did hit Mr. Negative actually, now that I think about it. So what else is in their deck? The Brood here is pretty big. So Ironheart, Silver Surfer, Brood. I'm missing the last one. And that may be what kills us. We're going to go ahead and send this, though. Just the 2 cards. So the Ironheart, no, the Brood. Okay, that's fine. And then the Silver Surfer trigger is big in the left lane. But I'm hoping our Infinite in mid and the negative affliction. No, it's not going to be enough, is it? It's never enough. That is a huge amount of power in the 42. With the Wolfsbane, with the Brood. It's unfortunate. We get it moderately close, but not close enough. This deck can do some big things. We should have retreated when they had Mr. Negative on 3. That's on us. Losing those 4 there, that's us being greedy and thinking we could overpower them and overshadow them. So we get Abomination on 1 this time around. We have the Nebula. You can play that, get value out of it over the course of the game. Now, normally I play Nebula into the unknown location. I don't think they play too much into Strange Academy. Because this deck, and knowing this deck pretty well, you want to stack your Wong and your ongoing. So you need that space, which I guess if they hit the Mr. Negative, then they could stack it all here after everything moves. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to do a Sunspot. We're going to do a Sunspot into Strange Academy, let it kind of let it go wild of where it goes. We're going to let Nebula scale, and then we'll just kind of play it by ear. We do have the Infinite already. We have Moon Girl, but right now that's not going to do us much good. Necrotia. They magic Necrotia, so that's fine. They're not going to be able to magic Strange Academy now, so the cards will move, thankfully. They do get the extra turn. They haven't hit a Zabu or a Mr. Negative just yet. There's still time. There's still plenty of time to do that, though. This doesn't double the She-Hulk. This does. I always like to be able to double the Wasp if possible, but I think this is what we have to do. Moon Girl, Wasp. I mean, do we, though? Yeah. If we're going to double down, I think this is how we do it. Let's go ahead and double down this turn. That still allows room to draw next time. We can do the Abomination as well, potentially. And then skip on 6. Ooh, or maybe we do the Cyclops. They get Mr. Negative on 5, which is pretty late in the game. I'm torn between Cyclops here, so we reduce the Abomination. Let's just do the Abomination now. I'm gonna go ahead and snap into it. Sunspot will scale a little bit. Nebula might, depending on where they play. Next turn is going to be a skip and float into an Infinite double She-Hulk. And we hope that that's enough. Might not be, but we're hopeful. Brood? No, Iron Man. Iron Man in Mojo World is big. But we are going to be competing for that location. We'll be able to have enough cards there. Maybe they double down. Maybe they do a Mystique onto the Iron Man in the same lane to make sure that that is a surefire lock. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go ahead and skip. We'll float. That allows us to do the She-Hulk, She-Hulk Infinite. We don't lose all of the value because our Sunspot does gain some of that in the right lane. We'll see. We know that they didn't hit the inverted Iron Man, so that's big. But they could have hit the inverted Wong. The inverted Wong is massive. Okay, into the Ironheart. Wait, do they have a Storm? No, there's no way they have a Storm. Okay. And then the Bast. Okay. A Wolfsbane and a Silver Surfer in the left lane is not massive. Brood in mid into a Silver Surfer in the left lane and Wolfsbane. They could do all... If all three of those got inverted, they could do all of them. I think we're all right. But then again, that's where this deck is kind of ambiguous. Is it... Maybe. We don't know. They could just explode a lot of power and we'd be at their mercy. Actually, the Brood into the Silver Surfer here is very, very big. But if they have Wolfsbane, then we want to make sure that we're competing here. I don't know. I don't know which it is. It's a gut read. Because we could probably pressure this left lane if we didn't think they had Wolfsbane. But Wolfsbane makes this lane just one double trigger of Wolfsbane is something like 12 to 19. I can't remember how many. It's a big Wolfsbane. Let's do this and hope. If this is this is a lot of cards. They got me. They got me scared. There's the Brood. Oh. Rogue, okay. Wolfsbane, okay. So it was, I guess, the right call not to play in the left lane. We could have outpowered the left lane with the She-Hulk and Infinite. Barely. But we do hold down the 4. Oh my gosh. This deck can just casually put out so much power that it's very scary, especially when you don't have locational control. Locational control, a Super Scroll, it really hurts this version of this deck. And I feel bad because they probably, I don't know if they know that this is my account or if they just maybe saw the video and picked it up. Maybe they saw it posted somewhere else. The video, the deck list got some phenomenal attention. Weird World comes down. Ooh, we get their Iron Man, which is pretty big. Go ahead and, I guess, armor the left lane. There's nothing that we're protecting. They don't have any destroy triggers. We don't have any destroy triggers. Ah, they got our Sunspot. How rude. Iron Man is a fun one. I don't know that we get to play it. We can always magic this location. Ooh. We could steal their Wong. Would it be Wong of us to do that? Feels right to me. I mean, we have the She-Hulk. We have the She-Hulk. We have the Moon Girl. Do we even want to? Like, I'm okay drawing some of the resources. We may just double down on what we have. Okay, they change it. All right. All right. That's fair. That's very fair. They had their magic in hand. All right, so if we do a Moon Girl here, that's, again, not going to hit the She-Hulk like we want it to. We'll go Wasp into the big house. The double She-Hulk, both of those will be able to be played over there. We don't have to worry about the Iron Man this time around, so that's a huge weight off of our shoulders. But we do have to worry about a few of their other tricks up their sleeve, like a Wong, but Wong becomes really difficult to play because they can't play it here. Kind of think we Iron Man. Iron Man, next turn we skip, we float the energy. We don't get any value from skipping, but the She-Hulk here, the She-Hulk here, phenomenal reach. And then we could even do an Iron Man, another Iron Man here, would be big. So let's go ahead and we snapped into it. We're going to go with the Iron Man. They float. Ooh, they have our Infinite, don't they? Rude. Rude friends. Well, they've already accepted the snap. We're going to skip here. Infinite left lane. Oh, that's massive. Huge props, my friend. Doubling down on the 8 again only brings it to 16 because our Iron Man is base. Doing a 9 power play over there. Or better yet, a 9 power play over there. is going to be 18. 18 plus 8? No, it doesn't beat it. We'd have to have at least 10 to tie if they didn't float any extra. Ooh, this lane becomes troublesome, problematic. Maybe we go... No, Iron Man is not going to be as big as Abomination. This would only... Iron Man would only be 7. Abomination is going to be 9, of course. And then we can She-Hulk. She-Hulk. And then for giggles, we could magic. We don't have anything that benefits from soaking. I don't think they have anything else big. So we're going to go ahead and go in the mid lane and see. The Brood is... Wow, the Brood is big. Silver Surfer hits... Oh, that's pretty big. That's not as big as the Abomination, but that middle lane was contested for sure. Do we outpower the right? Yeah, the double She-Hulk outpowers the Broodlings, and so we are able to hold down the 4. This, even if this deck isn't winning, it is stressful to play against. Trying to figure out where that power is going to be, because they can explode so much of it on the last turn, similar to what we do, but just in a different way. And so we're going to go ahead and see if we can hold down the first gold battle against Swahili. Round number 4. The Infinite starting off is big. Oscorp Tower. We could just clog their lane if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and make them commit. We'll see if they have it. So nothing on 1. Bast would be the only option they had, though. Hey, that's not great. Kind of want to play Wasp just so that Misty Knight has something to impact, but we're not going to. I would rather save it, okay? The Bast into the Oscorp Tower now. They must have just drawn it. Is kind of mean. Rickety Bridge. It's unfortunate. These spaces that we have are so restricted now. And we can always save the Wasp as that surprise, like, play over here that if they don't put anything else there, then we just win Rickety Bridge. I don't know. It gets really tough really fast with how constricted this is. We could always potentially change the Rickety Bridge with magic. They have magic as well. So I think it'd probably be a pretty big focal lane for them. All right. We'll do Moon Girl and Wasp. I like the Wasp tech. The more times I'm playing this, the more why didn't we reverse those so that Wasp actually did something? The more I'm liking the Wasp tech to clear out our hand if we need to for the She-Hulk portion of the double down. Ooh. Do we gamble here? Are they leaving the Rickety Bridge or are they changing it? If we think they're changing it, this is the play. Yep. This is the way. No doubt. They're changing Rick. They didn't! Oh no. They played in the left lane. Oof. It's tough. Oh no. Now we have the She-Hulk. But it is nowhere near as impactful. All right. Well, I guess we couldn't have done all 3 anyways. We couldn't have done the She-Hulk and the Infinite because we didn't have the extra energy. Okay, so we're fine. No sweat. They have to play something in Rickety Bridge or they just lose that location. We might be okay here. And so we're going to go ahead and just play the field. Cyclops in the left lane would have been pretty good, but that is fine. They play 1 in the left, 1 in the right. So what do they play over in the left lane? Brood? Ironheart. Okay, Ironheart so that it all stays on the board. It's a guaranteed what it hits, and they sacrifice the Silver Surfer, so it is a big left lane. But our middle lane is going to be a little bit bigger. They didn't hit a very good roll. So personally, I think I would have retreated from that one, not having the Mr. Negative. But then again, you can't really gauge that the Rickety Bridge is going to pop down. And so we do hold that one down. Let's go ahead and jump over into battle number 2. See if we can keep the positivity rolling. All right. Next up, we have T-Bird rocking the Infinity Border avatar. So we know we are in for a wild match. So Sakaar could end up pulling something good for us. It could end up pulling something bad. The Moon Girl would probably be the worst, and even that's fine because it still doubles down on the She-Hulk for us. Ooh. So we're running against a full-on destroy deck. Maybe Galactus, but very, very likely they're going to have a Nimrod, like a Shuri, Nimrod, probably a Null as well. So we'll see. We'll see what we're able to make happen. Do we go magic here? I think we just hide the Abomination. They're never going to expect that on turn 3 we dropped 9 power over there. Okay, so they go magic for us, so we don't have to. We can do Moon Girl whenever, but we want to wait until we get at least our Infinite, so that if we use it and then skip, we're in a good spot. Now, I would very much rather have our Sunspot on the board. That's okay. We still have a lot of power. Having the Abomination here, which I think they see this little gold glow, so it's a little bit, they know it's an evolved card, but they don't know exactly which one. I would assume they probably think it's Wasp if I had to guess, but I don't know. They use Carnage to destroy this lane. I think we go ahead and I think we do High Evo just because. Let's drop High Evo in the left. Turn 6, we will skip, let Sunspot, let She-Hulk go down to 0, enable our Infinite, but unfortunately, we're not scaling anything. We have 3 cards that can scale. We're not scaling anything. We are scaling their side down with the Cyclops, so I guess technically we're scaling. But let's go skip here and see what they do. The null is very, very big, depending on what else they have. I guess this could be Nimrod. All right, how heavy do we go here? I think we do this. I think we give up the null location. I think we make it null and void. My only debate is, do we snap into this? I guess my biggest debate. That's definitely not my only debate. Let's go ahead and snap into it. It's a gut read. It is for a lot of cubes early, but until they, like right now, they don't know exactly what kind of floating deck we have, because this is such an off meta version of a She-Naut. Seeing the evolved cards, that's probably not at the top or the forefront of their minds. So, ooh, they go heavy in the left lane. Could be a Nimrod and then a couple of destroy triggers. I don't. Okay, Nimrod, and then Shuri, and then Venom, maybe. Wow. Okay. That read was eerily close. So we should outpower the left lane. With the Infinite going to mid, I think we have no problem overpowering that one. The Abomination at 9 power is massive. The High Evolutionary, and then the last She-Hulk that we have going down in that left lane. We get 4 cubes very early on against the Destroy deck, and that feels great. But now, we do have to potentially worry that they have a Killmonger. We've seen a lot of their deck. They may have dropped the Killmonger, because that's not really driving a lot of their value in this deck. But it's hard to assume that they don't. Sakaar again is crazy. I think we go Wasp to make sure that Sakaar can't pull into it, but from there it gets really iffy really fast. I was hoping to draw into a usable card here, but unfortunately we didn't. Abomination is what gets pulled over there. And I haven't taken a second to really appreciate that Abomination variant. Ooh, they're Nimrod pools. And so they will be able to get a lot of power across the board over the course of the game. Oh, stop. Oh no. Destroyer is definitely not what we wanted to see there. Wow, rock, and Carnage, and we haven't hit any of our rocks yet. Ooh, and their Wolverine bounces back into the raft, so that's big for them so far. And they didn't use the Carnage on the Nimrod because they wanted to get the free raft resource. Let's skip here, absorb with our Sunspot. The Infinite, the Destroyer is so unfortunate. Ooh, they extend the game for us. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't for us, but I almost want to skip and soak again. Next turn we can play Infinite wherever we want. But with Subterranea, I have to hope that they've had some pretty bad luck. So Venom, okay. And Arnim Zola into that Venom next turn would be big. Spread a lot of power across the board. And they have their free raft resource. I think we stick it out for 1. I'm not going to snap. But I think it's worth at least exploring for 1. Okay, 2, 1 on the left, 1 on the right. Wait. Let's go. Why'd they stay for that? We will take it. We will take it with the Infinite coming in mid, coming in huge, and Sunspot soaking. Misty Knight giving us a little bit of extra boost, allowing us to tie in both the left and the right locations. Beautiful. Beautiful way to get another 2 cubes. We still don't know if they have a Killmonger. Something tells me that this version drops it because it cuts a lot of the fat. You're leaning into mainly the Nimrod. They may have an Iron Lad somewhere, but you're leaning into very much the Nimrod play, and then I don't know. I think it loses some of the benefit that normal destruction has. Now this lane, ooh, wait, do we have initiative or do they? They do. We're still gonna try it. We're gonna try and lock them into the Savage Land. That way they can't destroy it. They can't do anything. They are just locked in to that location. Elysium is crazy. Do we change Elysium? I don't really know that we need Elysium. Let's change it. Magic also we don't necessarily really like need. Okay. I've calmed down. I've convinced myself otherwise. We're gonna play Moon Girl instead of Magic. We are not gonna believe in Magic here. Because if they need the extension, there's the Iron Lad that I was talking about. If they need the extension, I don't want to be the one that gives it to them. We do have the Infinite. With the cost reduction, we'll be able to skip on 5 into both on 6. So we get some phenomenal reach there. Let's go Abomination in the left lane just to get a little bit of value over there. We skip next turn into a She-Hulk Infinite on 6, which will be really, really big. I'm hoping it's big enough, but I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, and Iron Lad is actually the Nimrod. I didn't even check that. And so that Iron Lad is going to go places. He is going all of the places, you guys. Okay, and then they get a Shuri into the real Nimrod, and so that is going to go off like crazy across the board. But we know that they are very limited here, right? So this would be 12 and 6. So it'd be 18 power max in Savage Land. So 20 total power. So the Infinite just does it, right? But a Venom in the left lane, horrified. Nimrod, Iron Lad, it's 20 over there. You know, I mean, it's not terrible. If we knew they didn't have Venom, we could compete for Monster Metropolis, but I think as is, we're going to compete here. If they do a double destruction trigger, maybe we have a shot in Elysium. Maybe there's a chance, you guys. Venom in the left lane, okay. As predicted, what is this that they dropped in the right lane? That is where the difference maker is going to be. And so their Venom, it was untouchable. Wave is not going to be enough, you guys. We are able to hold down against the Iron Lad, the Shried Nimrod into a destruction, and we are able to hold it down for the 4 cubes. That is a 3-round victory in Gold Conquest against a pretty cohesive deck. I haven't fully gotten on board with the Destroy trend because it can be countered by armor, by Cosmo. We're going to go ahead and take the win. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Dara, and I don't know if that's Dara. He's changed his name so many times. I don't know if this is Dara or if it's not. Ooh, Yondu. It's another Destroy deck, yeah? The Destroy deck. Ooh, Wakanda's big. Wakanda's beautiful for us. Maybe? I thought it was beautiful for us. Vormir's a little bit scary, but otherwise I think we're okay. Seeing the Yondu, we have to consider that they have a Galactus. So the snap into the skip is a little wild. Let's go armor in the left lane. That allows our Sunspot to soak a little bit. That prevents them from destroying any big cards. Let's see. Electro is wild. This is a Galactus list, yeah? When he has the oh, this is the ultimate. Wait, this isn't the new ultimate, right? This is the old one. Either way, it looks incredibly sleek. Magic to extend the game, or we just, I mean, we're hedging our bets against Galactus at this point, right? And so 5 energy this turn. We don't have to worry about the Galactus this time around. But I think we go Cyclops anyways. And see what it ends up doing. Okay, the Nimrod. They have 1 lane that they can destroy cards. I feel pretty good about this. So Galactus is going to be a challenge, especially with this deck. We're wanting to position our power so late that we probably have to augment our play line a little bit. Okay, Murder World is great for like an Electro. Great for clearing up some space. Got Xandar. Ooh, we get armor. I think we go ahead and armor in the left lane. I think we're snapping back. Stop a potential Galactus, maybe? Wolverine is now locked in place. I think armor is going to do us a lot of heavy lifting in this match. We can't, they will be able to move to New York on the last turn though. So, I mean, that will create some really strong potential like mind games. Unless, of course, they get the Galactus off. In that case, it's a lot more scary. But shifting into New York is something that might be really, really fun to do. Unless we get our magic. If we get our magic, we can change New York since it's already going to go to a turn 7. I like that better. Because if there's room for misplay, I'm definitely opt to do it. Let's go Cyclops, negatively afflict the cards that are there. Ooh, Shuri's big. Shuri into Nimrod here and then move it into New York later. Our Moon Girl doesn't give us anything except for, I guess, a second Wasp and some uncertainty on their end. Moon Girl, ooh, the skip here is really interesting. Do we move our cards? Like, part of me wants to do it. Part of me wants to leave them there. Either way, they will have to play their big powered card in limbo. So I'm going to leave mine. I'm going to leave them. We're going to float. They move, oh, all of them over. Okay, is this a Destroyer on the left? Destroyer left. No, it's a Galactus left. Oh, no. Well, can we outshine a Galactus here? Potentially. We skipped. They played Galactus into turn 7, so fortunately it did not end the game, because that could have been 8 cubes right there, just stolen away. I didn't even think about the Galactus being the 14 power behemoth. Is this enough? This is 29. 29 on top of the 7. We go -2, so 29. It's actually 31 points of value. What got destroyed? The Moon Girl, a few cards. Nah, I feel like we have to stay here. They got the Galactus off, but I feel like we have to stay. Yondu, please hit something small. Oh, thank God. The Misty Knight into the Null, and we should lose by... We win by 1. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. That was so incredibly close. Good Lord.